I'm a graduate of Pace Law School. I graduated Pace Law School when Ronald Reagan was president. So I have been an attorney since 1987. I'm easy. Well, by the way, that's Vicky, my wife, so I say I'm easy, and she certainly knows. Law rocks. If it's your passion. If it's not your passion, don't dream about it. So I came out of here in '87. I went into the district attorney's office. I've had the honor of prosecuting some rather significant cases. I have extensive experience in the appellate divisions, including many, many homicides. And in the trial courts as well, I have been involved in the prosecution of homicides. So, law, and again, I'm a kid from the Bronx. I'm a kid from 7 of us in 2 bedrooms, immigrant parents. There wasn't a book in the house. I went to Lehman College. I went to the City University of New York. Yeah, Lehman? I'll bet you your GPA is higher than mine was. Law is welcoming to those of us who want to reason. Law doesn't care about your gender. It doesn't care about your ethnicity. It doesn't care about your socioeconomic status. It doesn't care about any of that. Why in God's name would you? What we care passionately about is how do you reason? Because your clients are paying you to reason. And so it doesn't matter what your background is. If you have the passion and the willingness and the capacity to do this, it's a life. You know, it's a dream. And so I went to Lehman College. I graduated with a 2.68 GPA in the drinking problem. Okay? And then off I went to, I got a graduate degree, because who's going to go to law school with a 2.68 GPA, right? So I figured, let me get a graduate degree. And I had great sense back then. I like international relations, so I have a master's degree in international relations. That's very impressive. And my specialty, which I spent 2 years in getting, is in Yugoslavia. Does anybody want to tell me where Yugoslavia is today? Isn't that kind of scary that I have an advanced degree in a country that not only can you not tell me where it is, but you probably don't know it doesn't exist. Yeah, there is no Yugoslavia. So I have an advanced degree for which I paid, you know, a bunch of thousands of dollars, right? I have an advanced degree in the knowledge of a country which does not exist. You know, they say life is all about choices, and they're right, it's all about choices. So Pace was kind enough to find in his heart an acceptance. So I was accepted to Pace in 1983, and after my first semester I was on academic probation. That was exciting, because I didn't know. Nobody told me you had to open up. You know how the books come and they're like in this hermetically sealed thing? Well, I didn't know you had to open that up. You know, so my first week and a half of law school, I had the opportunity in 1983 to go to Monte Carlo. Well, let me see, Monte Carlo or your first week and a half of law school. Monte Carlo, first week and a half, so I went to Monte Carlo. But I got out because I had an epiphany, you know, and the epiphany was, oh, now I get it. You mean you actually have to work? Yeah, you actually have to work. And for many of you, let me be the first to mention, is it just me, or have you found that you might be able to make it through college without doing any work at all? See, to me, colleges, have you been to Kennedy Airport? And have you been on the moving walkway? Have you ever been on that? Or it doesn't matter, you pick your airport, right? You're on the moving walkway? Well, college is sort of analogous to, once you get on, do you have to walk to get off? Do you have to do anything to get off? I mean, if you fall, you're still going to go to the end, right? So for at least some of you, college is analogous to the moving sidewalk at the Kennedy Airport. You get on, you occupy physical space, you wait for each year you have a little moving up ceremony. I'm moving up. Well, do you know anything? Oh, no, I'm moving up. Right? And at the end of 4 moving up ceremonies, you graduate. You may not know anything, but you've graduated and you have a degree. And the message is, for some of us, right, and it was certainly for me, you can occupy physical space, not do anything other than occupy physical space, and expect to be promoted. You want to try that in here? No. No. Law is different. Law is going to require of you the capacity to reason this way. And all reasoning this way is you get if you're going to, you have to be able to see what's not there. That's what a lawyer does. That's what we all do. In other words, clients pay us to give advice. But isn't advice something that's not there yet? You have to hear the evidence. You have to make sure the evidence is reliable. You have to infer from the evidence to a conclusion. That's seeing what's not there. That's the capacity of being an attorney. You need that capacity. Then you need the willingness to work and work real hard, and you need the stamina to get it all done, and that's what law school does, because you're going to sit in here, and for the first time in your life, you know what you're really going to face? Failure. But to get in here, you're going to have to take the LSAT. And the LSAT is designed, does anybody know what the purpose of the LSAT is? Has anybody ever told you that what the LSAT does is provide law schools with information as to your first year, likely first year law school class rank? Has anybody ever told you that before? That the correlation between the LSAT and your eventual first year law school class rank is the closest correlation that exists, and is a way more accurate correlation than your GPA. So if that's what's happening, doesn't it suggest that whatever the LSAT is testing for is something you need in law school? Is that a fair inference? Who owns, do you know where does the LSAT come from? Who are the LSAT's parents? Who produces the LSAT? The Law School Admissions Council, yes? Who are the Law School Admissions Council? How about the law school, the LSAC, is wholly owned by I believe it's 242 accredited law schools in this country. Now, whoa, wait a minute. You mean every employee of the Law School Admission Council owes their position to the accredited law schools in this country? Yeah. So what do you think would happen if the LSAT failed to predict accurately how you would do in your first year of law school? What do you think would happen? You think people might get fired? Do you think when you apply to law school wants to know, not know, but if you were running a law school, would you like to have a business tool? Talk to me.
Yes.
Okay. And would you like that business tool to be predictive of the applicant's likely success in law school? But talk to me, I need help.
Yes.
I'm old, I'm feeble, I'm Irish. I get nothing if I don't get feedback, right? Would it come as a shock to you if I were to tell you that there is no section on the LSAT called logic games? Well, then why are they calling it logic games? So you're going to take a test that's either going to let you get into law school or not let you get into law school. Would you like the person at the front of the room to actually understand the test? Would you like the person at the beginning of at the front of the room to be able to use language with great specificity? You don't think attorneys do that by any chance, do you? So, if a section is called analytical reasoning, what should it be referred to as? Analytical reasoning. So when it's not referred to that, why aren't you inquiring? Why aren't you inquiring? Is the person naming it logic games to help you, or perhaps it's the person doing that to market something? Like what is logic games? It's not there. And the only reason, well, let me not say, I infer the only reason it's used is to create a misimpression that somehow this is like Sudoku on steroids, right? It's Rubik's Cube. It's a game. That's great. You watch Jim Loray, who's the person who oversees the writing of the questions, right? Who owes his job to the law schools. And Jim Loray will tell you that analytical reasoning is analogous to tax law. And it is. And you're going to learn to inquire. So the LSAT actually rocks. But if you don't know what the test wants from you, you can't prepare for the test. And it's vaudeville out there. It is absolutely vaudeville. Does it make sense to run a program that's preparing you for law school in a law school? Talk to me.
Yes.
Does it make sense for the folks who teach a program to get you into law school to be what? Lawyers. Since you take the test, like if you take the February test or you take the December test, what time will you take that test? What? 9 o'clock in the morning. How long is the test? Half a day. So when should the class run? 9 o'clock in the morning, and how long should the class be? Okay, you want to be lawyers, this is what it is to be a lawyer. So if you are not going to settle, you say, you know what? Maybe it's not convenient. Maybe I actually have to go someplace that I have to drive to get to. Oh, well, that's nice, right? I want to be in a law school. I want an attorney in front of the room. I want it to be held on the day the test is given, if that's possible. I want it to be held at the time of day the test is given, if that's possible. I want it for the length of time the test is given. Does that make sense? Wouldn't you like to be able to learn the LSAT if the LSAT measures what you have to do in your first year of law school? And everything you do in the first year of law school is done by IRAC. Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. I promise you, the first day you're here, that's going to go up on the board in all 4 classes. Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. Wouldn't it be helpful, since the LSAT predicts how you're going to respond to this, if you learn to approach the LSAT through IRAC? What is the issue? Maybe it's to weaken an argument. What is the rule? Well, the rule is the argument itself. What analysis flows from the application of the issue to the rule? That's what you have to perform. And the conclusion your mind forms should be the conclusion that was reached as the credited answer. Every answer on the LSAT, every single answer, is the logical derivative of the information that preceded it. You can't make it up. When your mind functions the way natural law has designed your mind to function, you will form basically the answers in your own mind. It rocks. If this is your dream, for heaven's sakes, prepare for it that way.